Hey, welcome back to my coverage of the Scrabble Players Championship. Um, I put a win-loss record on the screen because I guess that was probably missing. It's hard for me to even remember myself what my win-loss record is. So it's going to help me and help you guys figure out what's going on. So we just finished playing John Karras in game one of the day, and we lost. This was a brutal loss, putting me from 4-3 to 4-3 to 4-4. 4-4 is way worse than 5-3 at the beginning of these tournaments. But the good news is that with a poor record, I will be paired against other people who have poor records, who are more likely to be weaker players, and I might be able to what they call Swiss Gambit and make my way back up to the top. But when you're at 4-4 on day two of nationals, it's extremely unlikely that you will win, and also very unlikely that you will cash from that position. It's just so much better to have a good start because that way you can lose. But at this point, losing is pretty much not an option if I want to win the whole thing. To win the whole thing, I'd have to make the finals. So I'd have to come into the top two after 31 games. And I know you're saying 31 games. Like I could be 4-9, and I could still potentially win 18 games in a row and be 22-9 and somehow make it to the finals with that record. But yeah. Oh, maybe I should also put my spread, but maybe that's a bit too much work. Maybe when it gets more important. Spoilers. Okay. Anyways, this game I'm playing Ed de Guzman, and I love Ed. He's just such an awesome dude. Also, a strong player. He can really play a very good tactical game. But I was hoping that I could contain him. He opened with Vatic for 28. Um, I had this rack. Fog sucks. I don't know why I typed it out in that order, but I ended up playing Quiz. Uh, Keeping the QU combo is not really good here. There's not much to do with it. So I'm pretty sure just playing Quiz is fine. Um, Also neutralizes a few of the dangerous spots on the board and scores very well. So yeah, Quiz comes down, and Ed plays Give for 8. I'm already feeling pretty good uh, after that play. Seems like he's trying to open stuff, but yeah. If I had a better rack, I would definitely have played something down here. I can play Oops right now if I want to, but Goofy keeping IS is just so much better in terms of the leave. The IS leave is worth, let's see, 11 more points than the GI leave. Uh, and that's GI. Like GI can turn into ING, and the leave is just still that bad. But of course, the spot here is more important to neutralize. The problem is that Ufs doesn't really do much. It opens column B for a lot of bingos. Bingos ending in R, D, ES. Any normal combination is often going to work on the B column. And yeah, I just should play Goofy, and that is what I did. Ed plays Medic, so happy didn't bingo. Medic takes an O, also takes a K, I think. Yeah. O, S, and K. So, that being said, this was my rack, and I was very worried I was gonna miss a bingo here, because the Y just so tough for me to find words with Y's in them. But I looked hard and I couldn't find anything. And indeed, there was nothing. And I ended up playing Ya for 29, despite it being very open. I figured that I was likely enough to bingo somewhere else on the board with my EIRST leave from the C, for example. Maybe if I draw an A or an O or a B or an M, I can play on the 4 row. So I thought the danger of this play was still worth over sacrificing points to play something a lot more defensive like K. And yeah, there really isn't much else to do in this position, and no need to play scared when I have such a good leave. So I play YA, and it hits me with Thrip for 46, but I draw the B, and I play Bisters. Um, I didn't think of B stirs. I thought of these two words, and I think I might have chickened out of Bistrays. Um, like it wasn't really like I thought it was a word, but I wasn't like 100% sure. I think it's probably better to play this to not set up the R in a double lane. But then again, I thought that having an open board against Ed might actually work out better for me. We already have this C and this P open. The P is a very, very strong starting letter for 8-letter words. The C is better, but the P is pretty close behind. Lots of words start with P. So with that in mind, I figured that I should maybe play Bisters anyway, but I think just B stirs is the best play here, just by a little bit, so as not to give back the spot here. So the X spot is kind of annoying, and the other benefit is actually that's the only benefit. So I think I should just play Beasters. Um, I'm gonna call this a knowledge small because I didn't think of Beasters. I only thought of the other two. But I play Beasters here. Normally I would have switched the R to the E if Beasters wasn't a word. Anyways, move on. So, Ed plays Torah for 41, so he's keeping up the scoring pressure. And I draw into this rack, and I'm worried about missing bingos again here. Like I thought about pale wood. I saw that I had late wood, didn't fit. But again, there is no bingo. I'm gonna sneeze. I didn't sneeze. You know the feeling. So yeah, there's wold and there's wood and there's wood. There's a lot of options here on the same in the same spot basically. It's just a question of which of these three I think to play, and I don't want to play 3J Wolds because yeah, it just opens a triple for maybe slightly better equity. Like I'm scoring 2 more points than Wood, but the AL leave is better than the A. And yeah, it's just a lot better to not open a triple now that pretty much all the scoring spots on the board are neutralized. No need to create another one, especially with a small lead. So I play Wood. I'm pretty sure it's better than Wood too, because no need to leave the E. There are tons of E's to come, and EAL is a bit vowel heavy. But I did consider that it might allow me to bingo from the C a bit more often, or even from this P or this C. But yeah, I think this is the call. Here, Ed plays Q, very nice play, getting rid of crap. And yeah, I start to meander a little bit here. Wasn't really sure what to do. I could play Jun, play Raj, or I could play Punji. I think those are the options I considered. I could also play Jail. Yeah, those are the options. So, I didn't really want to play Jun because I don't have an O and the spot might stay there for a while. There are some possibilities of plays from 2F, like Baby, Gabby or words. So it's not that impossible to block this spot after Jun. And the leave is pretty good. The I is actually a nice help here to the ALR because there are only a few eyes remaining. So later on or immediately it can help me. Our next turn I bingo a lot more with Jun than after the play of Punji. Of course, that's also because Punji blocks the P. But I was more comfortable with this play. And I don't know that the difference is so severe. But it's possible. Let me count the vowels here. 11, 14, 17. Okay, so 17 unseen vowels and 20 unseen consonants. Yeah, I'm not really getting... I mean, I guess it's consistent. I probably should have continued playing with open lines. Even though both blanks are out. I don't know. I much preferred this play just to block some bad case scenarios from the P and just chill a little bit, not open anything new. Chronicle's telling me it's a different story, that I'm kind of losing out on a lot of opportunities of my own by playing Punji, which I knew I was, but I didn't really think it was that bad. So Quackle's saying this is around 3-4 points. Significant. Might mean that Jun was better. My chances of bingoing after Jun are 5% higher. Average score, of course, is higher. And opponent doesn't suffer. Opponent actually bingos less after Jun. Wow, okay, that's the figure that surprises me. And the reason for that is Punji creates a sevens lane. And normally the sevens lane isn't a big deal. It gives back triples that I can capitalize on. But with my leave of ALR, I guess I'm not often drawing into very high scoring plays if a 7-letter word does come down. So I sort of get it, but yeah, things are equalizing a little bit more. Yeah. And that's the only reason I would say to play Jun over Punji. Yeah, 3 points might be noise, might not actually indicate much of anything. That is the trouble with simulating on Quackle. Anyways, so here Ed bingoed anyway with Enlist D, and this is a sort of point in the game where I started to get a bit fearful. My chances of winning because Ed's just bingoed without a blank, and I still didn't have a blank. So yeah, it was kind of scary. He's taking the lead, and I'm blankless and 2 blanks unseen. So yeah, maybe if I had played Jun, things would have worked out better because I drew all consonants, and not good consonants either. I drew duplicated N's. I duplicated my R and my L. So this was a brutal draw, and the best I have is Lanner for 14. Maybe if I had kept the I would have been in slightly better shape. So hindsight speaking there. Now I'm down 5 points. So yeah, kind of need a blank now. Here Ed played Ox for 27. And I drew a blank. Exactly what the doctor ordered. And I checked for a while. I looked for a while for bingos here. And I just could not find something. So I was looking through the D and couldn't find an 8-letter word, which I definitely would have played if I had seen it. And this could be a bad situation. But no, I didn't miss a bingo. And I played Cal, which is the highest valuation for a play. Keeps the best leave, scores 16. But I might prefer Linga here. I don't think I saw that. That's 20 points. Leave isn't that much worse. There are lots of decent tiles to come. Not much to duplicate. No U's, only one V, only one G. But yeah, there are tons of options here. And I might sim it. I might sim this position a bit later and show in the comments what the details said. But I played Cal, And I'm down 16. And here, Ed played BAP, which scored really well and set up a lane. And unfortunately, I mean, I didn't have an O last turn, and there are only two O's on scene, so this spot is just there forever until someone draws an O. But I drew really well, and I was able to play racing for 76. And I'm pretty sure I'm just supposed to take the points here. So racing 76 comes down, and I'm feeling all right. I'm up 24, but Ed strikes with Mew. And here's where things get incredibly complicated. So here I drew A, E, F, L, F, K, L, V blank. Pretty sure this is my rack. And there are 10 tiles unseen, which means there are 3 tiles in the bag. And I drew the last blank, which is really good, but the unseen letters are incredibly strong. There are scoring plays available like door for 34, and notice that I'm down by 19, so those scoring plays could be very, very dangerous. There are lots of bingos available. If I just put in all the unseen letters, well, that's not happening. Yeah, that's what happens when you put in all the letters. Gives you 8-letter words. But yeah, a bunch of options that score a ton of points on the first row. And one of the things about this situation is that the board is such that if I don't empty the bag and I bingo next turn, for example, if I play something like Kif here, and play comes down like Odonate, and I draw into bingo. So how do I draw into a bingo? I kept VALE. So if I play disvalue, suddenly I don't win. So I started to get really worried about my chances, because if I'm able to just bingo and win, then I'm totally okay. I just need to draw a bingo. But if I can't win, even if I draw a bingo, in certain situations, that's really, really bad. Of course, for obvious reasons. So yeah, I started to worry about high scoring bingos here. So I started to think about plays that blocked or did something seeming like blocking. So how does one block this O lane without an O? I can play something like F, and I block this lane. But the problem is he still has stuff through this D. He still has things using the G. And yeah, it's just a really, really tough situation to be in, even though I have the other blank. And I can't really score that much either. As you can see, the play of Kif loses to, like, I think every bingo on the first row. And that's like a high scoring play for what I have, leaving decent tiles. And that is actually what I ended up playing. But yeah, it's really rough, because even if I do manage to block his bingos with something like Fa, or I don't remember what I was considering in this position, because there are just so many moves to think about. But if I block something with, like, yeah, I guess it's just Fa. The play of Oak was suggested by Quackle, but that's just really bad. But it just seemed like if I let him bingo on the first row, I was losing. Um, and yeah, I didn't really know how to address everything, and I didn't have time to find all of the bingos that were possible everywhere on the board. But it seems like a lot of bingos are possible starting with O, which is pretty odd. Um, and yeah, I didn't really know. I didn't really know what to do. So I was in a really bad position, I felt. And I will ask Championship Player what its top choice is, but I don't know how good of a use it'll be. I'll run some simulations and give people the rundown. But I ended up playing Kif. Um, and this wasn't just an innocent play. There's also some um, I think there were some plays available through this F that could score a lot of points. But I don't see it right now. I thought I saw some plays. Uh, Vita, Fo. Well, maybe not. But yeah, this felt like my best chance of trying to bingo back. I saw that I could draw some stuff in multiple spots, but I was very worried. And maybe the best call here is to empty the bag, but if he's able to score 30 points underneath here, if he has the D and two O's, or even just do it, I am in big trouble. So I thought I needed to bingo. Played Kif, and Ed played Orients for 86, and that was it. I draw an O, I draw the other O, but I have no bingos, and my best option is to play Loved. He plays Oak for 10, and he wins the game 446 to 377, putting me at a record of 4-5 at the beginning of day 2, after drawing both blanks 2 games in a row and just failing with them. And of course, I was playing strong players, but I wasn't playing the top players. So having 2 games where I drew both blanks and just still losing was brutal for my psychological state of mind. I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing wrong, and I didn't know what was happening, and I don't know, I couldn't cope with it. So I was getting really upset with the state of things. But it's a long tournament, many games to go, and I needed really to just put it all behind me and keep trying to play my best. And yeah, this game I made a couple of inaccuracies, probably. And the Kif position and the Cal position are really interesting, and I'll analyze those right after this and try to give people some feedback from my findings. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Round 10 is next. I hope you are enjoying the series so far.